Welcome back everyone to episode 9 of my alphabetical series, where today I'm going to be talking about something beginning with the letter I. Now I wish I could be streaming live from some tropical paradise, but the UK will have to do, and I think it's looking pretty good today. It's rather topical actually, because today is all about iconic islands. An island is a piece of land that is disconnected from the continent and it is surrounded by water. Now you may be thinking continents are also surrounded by water, which they are, but it is their size that differentiates them. Continents are too big to be considered an island, and therefore islands are categorised as a mass of land that is both surrounded by water and smaller than a continent. Australia, being the smallest continent, is 3 times as large as Greenland, which is the largest island. So there are 2 main types of islands. Firstly, continental, like Great Britain. So we were once part of a continent, but we are now disconnected and we lie on the continental shelf. The second is oceanic or volcanic islands, like Hawaii. Now these are formed, as the name suggests, by volcanoes, underwater volcanoes in fact, that are on the ocean floor. Now when they erupt, over time, lava builds and builds until eventually an island is formed. So approximately 11% of the world's population, so over 700 million people, live and depend on islands. There are countless islands in the world, in our oceans, rivers and lakes, but it is Sweden with the most amount of islands, with a staggering 220,000, the majority of which are uninhabited. Now these small islands could be less than an acre or half a hectare, and they can be called islets. However, groups of islands are called archipelagos. So why did I decide to talk about islands today for my letter I? Islands make a contribution to global biodiversity that is out of proportion to their land area. So collectively, they can be referred to as biodiversity hotspots, containing some of the richest and most unique flora and fauna on our planet. So how has this biodiversity got there? Some species would have travelled vast distances over water, being blown by the wind, by storms, or by hitching a ride on a floating island. Now, because islands are naturally isolated, animals and plants have had to adapt and evolve to their surroundings over time. Islands are home to a higher concentration of endemic species than continents. These are species that are native and restricted to a certain area, so they can only be found there and nowhere else on the earth. Now, endemism is a common feature on an island. The proportion and number of endemics increases with increasing isolation, island size, and topographic variety. However, this comes at a cost. Due to their limited and narrow range, their often small population size, the need for a specialised ecological niche and constant environment, as well as overexploitation by people, endemics are extremely vulnerable to extinction. 75% of all recorded bird, mammal and reptile extinctions have been island-dwelling species. The main cause? Predominantly the intentional or accidental introduction of invasive or non-native species, with often catastrophic consequences. Additionally, islands provide a stopping off point and breeding site for many species on migration, as well as providing the foundation for coral reef ecosystems. Islands are indicators of climate change and sea level rise. These issues are particularly urgent here because they are more tangible due to their size and remote locations. Therefore, islands are acting as conservation frontiers for the rest of the world. Thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed and learnt something new about islands. I will see you next week, where I will be talking about something beginning with the letter J.